Mike, it's a pleasure to have you with us here. My goodness, that's right around the time you won a World Series, and you're dealing with that with a family member with that horrendous disease. And I didn't know anything about it, and I'm sure you kept it quiet. And now we have to make sure people know about it. This disease doesn't go away, and it's a crippling one. Thoughts there? Go ahead. Let me hear.
Yeah, it's it's in recognition of, in honor of my sister, who was, she was a great sportsman, a great, follower of all the sports. She loved baseball. Her and I went to Wrigley Field many, many times on the Addison bus when we were kids together. And this disease it's just an ugly disease that just is a crippling disease. It's a tough way to die. And just watching her suffer through the disease was something that I knew I had to do something about it. And we've teamed up with Nationals Philanthropies to really strike out ALS. We had the CEO soak. I challenged the other GMs in baseball to do the same and to contribute to this, to get rid of this disease. And of course they have responded greatly, like they always do. And it's a tight fraternity between the general managers, and they do a good job of supporting us. So thank you to those guys for everything they do to that group of people. It hits all people, and it's something that is it's just an ugly disease, and I think it hasn't been spoken about enough. I just think that since Lou Gehrig's days, it just hasn't been moved far enough along to make this life a better life for someone with this disease and to cure it. And we've got to shine some light on it, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart. And I appreciate the platform here and in other media outlets to get our point across.
And don't forget, Jim Catfish Hunter is another one. Yeah, have we made some progress? I mean, I know they're trying to figure out, it's a nerve issue. It's very, very tricky. Have they made progress, Mike, in the last 15, 20 years? What can you tell me about that? Let me hear.
Not nearly enough, Mad Dog. It's something that we really need to do a lot better with this disease, and it's something that we really want to put the spotlight on to really move this thing forward and to really get ourselves a jump start on getting something done with this disease. It's in honor of Lou Gehrig Day, which is Friday. We're playing the Phillies. It's a day to recognize Lou Gehrig and to really put a face to this ugly disease, ALS, and to let's get rid of it. We've got the manpower, the resources to come up with money and the people to stamp this thing out. So we need to move this thing farther along.
There you go. All right. That's number one, most importantly. All right, your Nationals have been scrappy, feisty. Young players done a nice job. Your manager's got them playing hard. Good win yesterday against L.A. Getting a win out there was nice after two bad games. The pitchers have been a little Gore. I mean, obviously, Gray's got a chance. The catcher, Abrams, the shortstop. You made a lot of trades in the last couple of years, and these young players are getting a chance, and they're going to be good. Mike, give me a little rundown on your team. Let me hear.
Yeah, I think that Davey's got to play in good baseball. We've got to, like you said it, you described it well. We've got a good scrappy team. We don't put a lot of crooked numbers up via the home run, but I think we're at one of the top in the league in batting average and on base percentage and that type of thing. So we scrap, we put good at bats together, and our young core is what we're really focused in on. We're young up the middle with Ruiz and Abrams and Garcia in the infield. We've got Victor Robles and Lane Thomas in the outfield. Those guys are all good young players that are playing well for us. Victor's hurt right now, but our good young pitching with Mackenzie Gore. He flashes the ability to be a front of the rotation type of guy, and JoJo Gray the same. These guys are learning their craft on the fly at the big league level. Because of where we're at in our rebuilding process, they're having the opportunity to pitch through some struggles and some learning curves at the big league level. But they flash stuff that can pitch at the top of a rotation in the big leagues, and that with the pitchers that we have down in the minor leagues with, Cade Cavelli, who's coming back. He'll be coming back from Tommy John. Cole Henry, who was a high draft pick for us, coming back from thoracic outlet syndrome, and Rutledge and Bennett, and there's Adone, and there's a bunch of names that are going to come up and be good pitchers for us in the future. We've got 3 young guys with Jake Irvin at the big league rotation already, and we've got more on the farm. So we're excited about that. Our position players are really stacked up. We've got a good bunch of guys. Just about everybody's pref list nationally. We've got 5, 6, or 7 players that are talked about glowingly. So when those guys get to the next step in our progression, we like the way we're playing now. We want to win more games at the big league level this year, and then compete for World Series titles like we have in the past.
Well, why not do it again? You did it once. And I tell you, wouldn't it be odd if your team gets real good in a couple of years and they go get Soto? I mean, stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. They'd be in the prime. And I'm sure you got a lot of resources at your disposal. When you need to add those big components, you will be able financially, I would think, Mike, with your ownership to do that, correct?
If you look at past history, we have certainly done it in the past. And, when we rebuilt this thing in 09 and 10 and 11, we had a very, very low payroll. We won 98 games in 2012 with a very low payroll. But as your players get better and as your expectations rise, your payroll has to get to the point where we're competing with the rest of the team. So we've always been given the resources here to compete at a high level. We competed for a high level for about a decade, and I could definitely see in the next year or so to put our resources into play again and to kind of cap off this rebuilding process with some good, prudent, free agent signings to get us over the hump.
If anybody can do it, it's you, Mike. Good job. Well done for your sister. We'll keep in touch. Thanks for a few minutes here today. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Christopher. Appreciate it.